We defy, sayang, we defy.
Okay, let me see what items look like. Excuse me. I think I want to see what the next trial battle looks like, because I can get Ash up to level 20 just by having him heal himself once and promote him, so I might go ahead and do that. Gotta take out the key. I remember what this battle was. Oh, this one. Here's the one. Oh, okay, so this one is a little bit tricky. considering that your people automatically counterattack, what you want to do in this one is you have to figure out which chest it is. I think it's like over here somewhere. I can look at the gun and see. Pretty sure it's over there. Yeah, if you're counterattacking, then you run a risk of killing the guy before you even get to your prize. So that's also where the mimics come in. Is they kind of help you extend the time by giving you extra targets to hit. Can I cannot. So every chest here is a mimic except for the one with the orb that we're looking for. If he's getting close, we can pop him to kind of give ourselves an extra target. Well, for now, I just want to clear the way. I wonder if you can open these with spells. I never tried before. You should be in range to get spellbound. On the next turn. And at the very least, if I leave my mages in the back, they're not likely to kill him with the counterattack anyways. Alright, cool, so we don't even have to worry about him. So, since I know that that's the thing, get my people as far away from him as I can. And I'll go ahead and open this one up just so I have somebody for Ash to heal when he gets counterattacked. That's the concern though. This battle is made so everybody can, all your enemies can get killed in one hit. But that's exactly what we needed from Amon, or from Amon. Keep saying it two different ways. He needs another 14. There's Clinton was far away, right? Yep. And I could kill it this turn, but I also want Ash to do some healing. So, let's let it test mine so I can get another heal in. Even better. But I'm only going to do one or two at a time. I'm not going to let loose a whole bunch of chests just because Ash can only heal so many people at once. Never mind, there's my level. Ideally, next turn I can pop that open, and it is the chest I'm looking for. Thankfully, he's not unparalyzed yet. Yep, that's what I'm looking for. So now I can blast this dude into oblivion. I don't think I can hit him from here with that, and I think he's a little too far for phase shift. Yep. Not that we have to be in any rush. Then I'll have Ash knock this open so Pink can use an herb on him and have him level as well. Because he's going to attack somebody that's within Flint's reach. Because I do need to get rid of those herbs anyways. So now everybody should be at least level 18. Oh, you don't really get experience from this battle other than healing anyways, so I don't really feel like wasting time doing that much healing. I don't even have that many items on him. But this trial is nice because it's just nice and quick. Pretty much cost the price of the herb. So I can go drop this back and give Clint a new mega herb. I don't have any weapons or armor. Could sell that. More than one T yet. But got that quick, so ooh, before I forget, I need to go back to the dojo and advance. I need to start leaning forward. I do like the look of this class. You got the little ponytail in the back. Alright, we're all good. Took a second. We've already gone to Carlo's mansion last time. Now it's Old Town Warehouse. And it was a setup. Surrounded by monsters. And here's the other enemy that is supremely annoying to me. This along with the bugaboo, eggworms. And they're annoying for the same reason. Besides that, we have golems, who, if you notice, are extremely strong and do a lot of damage, and then play swordsmen. So the big thing with this one is getting yourself to a corner, kind of clearing it out. Not necessarily all the way into a corner, but most of the way. And giving yourself time to regroup as they come at you. So you want to go in a corner where he can, or either one of your mages can get in and do some damage pretty quickly. And at least like this, I can knock out the golems, so I don't have to worry about their damage output. Skeletons will be vulnerable to getting knocked out with counterattacks or arrows. So we can basically take this whole half of the arena. Let's see how far Diego can go. Nice, just what I needed from him. Big XP gain. Fortunately, I cannot hit him. I can't get rid of this one. I was only one space closer. So Diego's a little bit exposed, but he should survive an attack. Because they should not be able to reach him. Yeah. Yep. So he might get hit by the egg worms. He might get hit by the soldier and the 2 egg worms. But besides that, we're not really vulnerable to anything else attacking us, and my 2 mages can phase shift as everything closes in. And this should be a pretty quick battle, maybe 6 turns. Yep. Interesting to go for the swordsman rather than the priest. Same with him. Alright, yep, Diego's fine. Oh, they're not even gonna come up. Oh, he is, huh? I was curious. Not enough to kill him, so that's fine. Eggworm kind of put himself in a spot where you can only get attacked by a swordsman from one direction, but does not mean he cannot get hit by magic. Who else got hit? Put Grog here. So I can heal both of them. Ooh, I actually forgot. Can't even target him there without using magic. Hey, what's going on, Ashley? Are you done with everything today? Pull my mages up a little bit. Oh, I didn't even realize that he was ready to be promoted already. Do that after this battle. Just editing for YouTube. Yeah, these two are gonna come just shy of the platform. That's nice. Hopefully the process isn't too time consuming for you. And then heal here. feel you. Alright. Curious how he can shoot through what would presumably be the ceiling, but whatever. Yeah, you definitely needed some time to take a break and kind of decompress. So it's been coming up. So I'll probably move my mages up. Do another couple of phase shifts and soften everything up. Take out the 2 golems. And then just kind of pick everything off. This should be good. Yep. Yeah, so check this out, Ashley. I'm thinking of doing a one-time not even redeem exactly, maybe kind of a one-time cheap redeem for the jam, because I have to make some for some winners of the project we had this week, and I'm gonna bring it in next Tuesday. So I was considering, since I'm not gonna just make enough for 4 people, I'll probably make enough for like 12 to 16. Possibly seeing if anybody wanted to get one before having to do the redeem, or before the redeem was really that much, I should say. See, where can Grog go? Grog can't really go that far, but he can come up and cover this side. That side's clear. Rolling fire will be enough to get rid of that. Always getting blocked. Who needs it over here? Just these two. see, eggworm. Oh yeah, I did get rid of this eggworm. So the one eggworm is the only one that can hit the Jaeger. Maybe the second one. Yeah, so that's kind of the thought, since I'll have the extras. Potentially seeing if anybody wants to get one ahead of the redeem. And I think I mentioned what I was gonna do, like a strawberry sage jam with a Malbec or a red wine reduction. I think there's a, yeah, there is. I was like, there's a way to check how many people you got left. I need to go to the store tomorrow to get some strawberries so I can make it on Sunday. And some sage. I do not hide ingredients, so it'll be strawberries, sage, wine, sugar, obviously, maybe a little sugar and honey, and then like some lemon rind or sorry, lemon zest, or maybe a little Myers lemon zest along with a little juice to balance it out and give some complexity to it. See who really needs a level. Clint's pretty far behind. Grog is far behind. Grog and Eamon and Darius. Actually, you're closer to this one. A little too far, yep. Yeah, that was kind of the thought, seeing who won again. I think those are the only two that actually need help. So, let's give them a heal, shall we? Hey, what's going on, Splice? Going pretty decently. Couple of battles could have gone smoother. Might just been a while since I played this, so I've just kind of been enjoying going back through it again and using it as a backdrop to some of the discussions. Saki. Saki, why you be coming for me when I didn't send for you? How you doing today, Saki? I said, how are you doing today, Saki? Yeah, I definitely want Crawler to at least get a hit in before Eamon kills it. I'm not quite sure what you're talking about. Oh, I said don't even start with that? Probably what you heard. Don't even start the handsome stuff. We don't need to lie around here, Saki. This thing doesn't stop running. So I didn't do the housing talk last time just because it didn't seem that anybody was here that was interested in doing it at the time anyways. Because I would rather it be like a discourse rather than me just like talking and then somebody coming in and maybe wanted to talk about it like in kind of the middle. So I usually wait until somebody arrives that is interested in discussing. Pull some of these guys back to force the target. Saki. Girl, never let me live. I'm gonna throw Huxley over here just in case I need to heal somebody. You know what, Saki? You know what would be fantastic is to have somebody that also studied economics join the discussion. Don't you think that'd be a fantastic idea? Alright, that's exactly what I wanted. The 1 HP, but I don't mind it this time. I don't think I can reach. Yep, I can't. Saki? You never mentioned if you thought that'd be a good idea. But yeah, splices, basically, I don't want to like just be rambling and have it, somebody that might have been interested miss a part of the discussion. Because that also is what makes it more interesting for me. You don't say, Saki. It'd be great if they were willing to share their opinion. Maybe if you come across them, put that out there to them. Put the word out, like Marla. Are you ready for your concert tomorrow? You starting to look for a house? I'm assuming you're in the US. Oh, that's next Friday? Or sorry, next Saturday? Saki, don't even. No, that's right, it's Sunday, because I told you to give Andre his full day. So, more than likely, there's going to be some very strong correction within the next 6 to 12 months. Like 6 months is probably the earliest you're really going to start noticing it. 12 is probably the latest you're going to start noticing it. It's been reported pretty much in every, not in every, let me step back, but in a lot of major countries. So the size of the correction is regional. So if you're looking in one of the overheated markets, Nashville, Dallas, lesser degree Austin, Phoenix, Vegas, those are probably looking at are they more likely to look at a drop in the median price of somewhere between 25 and 30%. But there's a lot of factors that play into that. So like the homes that are owned, what are they for? If, for instance, if you know somebody that bought a house in the last year, did they overpay? It's probably pretty likely that they did relative to the actual value of the house. But if they're planning on staying in the long term, especially with like an actual mortgage rate, 5 to 7 years, they'll be fine. They'll start underwater. It's probably sometime in the next year, like I said, but over the long haul, it won't really matter anyways, provided they can maintain their same level of employment, or at least income. If the people that are more at risk, or the entities that are more at risk, are like small kind of mom and pop investors, especially if fire's coming close. I don't know if anything. Oh no, it just stops. I was about to say I don't know if anything happens if you don't progress the dialogue. If there's like a small group, like mom and pop kind of investors, and especially flippers that might be purchasing under hard money loans because they're not going to get a mortgage rate, it's not a home for them to stay in, they're going to be at higher risk. Institutional investors will probably lose a lot on their books, but their portfolios going to be more diversified, generally speaking, obviously. So, but they lose more, yeah. Damn, just laid out. Will they lose more? Yes, but they also will be more covered on the whole. But it's like the smaller flippers are the ones that are going to see, and then potentially people that, with the rise in interest rates, may have the risk of losing their employment, and they have to sell if they are still under the mortgage. Since we don't really do variable rate mortgages anymore, that part isn't too much of an issue. But those are going to be the more likely vulnerable areas in terms of like housing. So in turn, that's where you want to look to buy if you're looking to buy a house, is places where, or regions where the price skyrocketed, and especially if you're familiar with the region, you know that it's like not, that price doesn't make sense for that region. Yeah, if you're just looking for a home, then I say give it a year. You'll notice a difference. You'll notice a big difference, and the difference also kind of, the projected difference also kind of depends on who. All right, so you're in the DMV, so now we'll see some correction depending on how far away from the D you are. But that also is kind of dependent on, I mean, all the basic local stuff like your local industry, your local attractions, stuff like that. Stuff that makes it worth people living there. So, like, for instance, I think right now, let me double check to make sure I'm saying this correctly. But I recall looking. Yeah, median home price in Boise, Idaho is $325,000. Probably getting higher. Oh, according to Zillow, it's even higher than that. So, like, these don't make sense because that's saying that a home in Boise is worth more, significantly more, than a home in Dallas. And it just doesn't have like the significance for that to be the case, and especially because there's not also businesses looking to move to that area or within the general region. So Bmore might be a place to look. Silver Spring, depending on how far you want to drive, like Stafford, Woodbridge, those might have had some sharp spikes because part of the reason for those price increases were remote work gaining prevalence. As that's kind of mitigated, it does mitigate the especially overheated market. So, for instance, like Boise, that should be dropping closer to 40 or 50% possibly because a house there, a median home there just doesn't make sense to cost that much. So DMV, 10 to 15% might be more likely. Now, I think nationwide is going to kind of average out to 25-30%, maybe a little bit more depending again on how employment kind of follows the interest rates and people's hesitance to buy or reticence to buy, because you can't, from the seller point of view, obviously you want to get the most that you can, but you can't just drop it like 15% or 20% in what might be a recession and you're like, okay, I'm good, somebody's gonna come buy this. Hey, what's up, Brother Ninja? You would have to drop it a little more because you have to entice people to do so in a precarious economic climate. So that's why I think 25 to 30% is more likely. Nationally speaking. But, how are you doing, Brother Ninja? Talking about housing and what kind of corrections might be occurring in the housing market right now in just the U.S. But you also have to think of it as a kind of as a house of cards or a bunch of dominoes in that sense, Splice and Brother Ninja, if you're interested. So, like for instance, if people start having economic issues, it makes more sense to either move in with friends or move back home with family, And that's going to force, even though we've had a decade of underbuilding, that's going to force all these open apartments to start to have to drop their prices because they're going to have to want to. They're going to want to entice people into those buildings so they can get money to pay back the loans. Same thing with people that are trying to rent out homes or people that are trying to sell homes. Like, it's going to cause kind of a run on the prices because, all right, I make, in this scenario, I make 90,000, 100,000, whatever. I bought a house last year for $500,000, but now I lost my job. I can't sit there and be like, oh, well, I'm going to wait for this offer because I'm only going to get so much of a grace period. So I might have to sell at 380, 400,000 just to like get enough money to at least start paying back the loan and give me some kind of time while I'm trying to like find my land on my feet. So there's definitely a lot of a cascading domino effect going into it, and you also have to think about it from the perspective, at least in the finance point of view, is it's really just psychology with money attached to it. And how are people going to react in X situation? What's the cause that happens before that situation? What's the cause that happens before that situation? So if you kind of consider from that standpoint, it's like, oh, okay, this makes sense. So I might look in, and this might be something where you just have to drive around to actually like get the lay of the area from a distinctly intimate point of view, but look around, use Keller Williams, use Zillow, whatever, see what places are being rented or what houses are listed for rent. See which of those are listed for rent by like smaller local regional companies versus nationwide organizations. See which ones are definitely overpriced relative to like what it might have been 1-2 years ago. And that's going to give you an idea of like, okay, this is one that's vulnerable to some kind of large correction because they're trying to hop into the seller's market when the interest rates are historically low. Which, I mean, technically the interest rates are still really low, but they're just not in that historic period. But also the prices have obviously shot up. Hey, what's going on, Jess? Or should I call you Moss now? Do you prefer Jess or Moss? Is my... They're both up, so I'm gonna go to the So, in effect, it's kind of... Gotcha. In effect, as far as like the houses are going, it's kind of seeing who has the flex to say, you know what, this is occurring, I am willing to sell slightly underpriced now versus having to sell at whatever the buyer feels like asking later. Alright, I will try to keep in mind to say Moss. But there's also... There's a bit of a protection from like a housing crash in the US, so to speak, because of the way loans are structured here and that they're largely fixed. Canada and the UK, for instance, are more vulnerable because they do arm mortgages. Those are still a little more common there. So there's also that consideration, but you also have to economics. But you also have to consider, like, with the increased globalization, how is a global housing crisis, or sorry, how is a regional or national housing crisis that might be really, what's the word I'm looking for that's not going to be too much pronounced. If one nation or a couple of nations have a really pronounced one, how is that going to affect even companies that you might not think of that are investing in those areas? Kind of like, I'll give an example. So the Chinese market, they're having those mortgage strikes that suppliers are starting to join in on, because they're not being paid by the developers. So if developers who are starting to move overseas, particularly to the west coast of the US and Canada, if they're having to pull money back to cover what they should have been doing at home, which has started happening over like the last year and a half, 2 years, how does that affect the markets here as far as their investment and who's going to make up that space? And what does the economic situation in that country look like? I think this is the only time you hear this song. So, like, alright, if Chinese investment has to pull out of the US, then I read some articles where, like, Singapore and Korea, German interests might make up the difference, but then they have all these issues. So, are they in a position to actually do that? So it's a cascade of issues. So there's only one item on this map, and it is right there. But, you know, like if you look at, provided information I found was correct. If you look at oh, first, I really like Ash's attack animation as a Paragon. Or Paragon, however you like to pronounce it. But if you look from the information that I found about, like, the German housing market, for instance, it is so overblown. It's like, okay, well, they're facing the same kind of issue because they have drastically overpriced homes relative to median incomes. And they're also in a country that's like half the size of Texas. So it's like if every major city in Texas, people are making roughly the same amount of money, but like their home costs several $100,000 minimum for effectively a starter home. It's like, okay, how many people can afford that? And generally not many. So if you're not already in a house, it's hard to get into one, which has been the case here for a lot of people. Alright, this battle isn't too crazy, but they are correct, and you want to, like, move forward. I think you generally have 2 to 3 turns for each card to be released, so like just enough to get across you get up here. I think it's 3 turns because I know like this car in particular kind of slows you down. I gotta make sure to check the grate before we knock out the boss. And then also there's, I believe actually Korea does variable rates too, at least according to Bloomberg and Reuters article I was reading. So there are also people facing like large increases in their monthly payments, and alongside all the other inflation, it's again a question of how many people can afford it. So if they're all having to deal with their own problems at home, then who's gonna quote unquote clean up the problem here? Or step in to plug that hole. That's probably the better way to say it. I don't know how much foreign investment plays into the prices in the DMV, especially as you get further away from DC area, like the immediate area, and probably within, let's say, 20 miles. It's because it's kind of a necessity to be there from a political perspective. So that's also why I think it's one of those 10 to 15% might be more reasonable there as a correction. But again, it also kind of depends on who you're getting the information from. So like information from. So I've seen mortgage lenders earlier on were saying like, okay, there's only going to be like a 10% drop in prices. Well, it makes sense for them to say that because they are in that business. So they don't want to go around saying it's going to be much higher than that. But I've seen an article mention a Credit Suisse analyst that said 15, 16%. I've seen some articles, I can't remember where the analyst was from, it might have been JP Morgan, that said price correction in houses was looking closer to 20%. So take that for what you will. Actually, that's an easy deal. Excuse me. You're welcome. Hopefully it was informative. Because it's more, I will say I'm not trying to give like investment advice or anything like that. Oh no, I actually enjoy talking about it during the game. That's specifically why I chose this game, because I've beaten it a couple times before. So I can play through it while I'm actually like talking and not really be concerned with it. But that's like, I don't want to really say I'm giving like financial advice of like, oh yeah, you should invest in this, invest in that, so on and so forth. It's more, this is a series of, oh my bad, sorry about that. I try to like frame it more as like, this is a series of our sequence of events that are occurring that are going to have some kind of effect on your decision. So it's good to be like aware of that. How's that? Is that better, Saki? luck with that, homie. Because if I knew that, I would actually be using my computer to work on that right now. Oh, my bad. Sorry about that. Okay, everybody moved and nobody's back here. Hopefully it helps out, Brother Ninja. And hey, what's going on, Dumps? I didn't know you were familiar with Vandal Hearts. On that loud kind of helmet clang when people block with the shield. I mean, you definitely know that you got blocked when it happens. Oh, yeah, the zombie village. I think I ended up killing 2 of the villagers. Did you... Let me ask you this stuff. Did you ever find Ash's hidden class? So that logic, Brother Ninja, will generally apply to any area in the US, more or less. Is this a hot area? Are companies trying to like move here for whatever reason that they are saying outwardly? If you look at like local business journals, I have played Vandal Hearts 2, and I do not care for it because of the way the battle system works with the simultaneous movement. It gets old after a while because you're just walking in circles. Hopefully Darius is going to be right on the edge this entire walkthrough. See, the battle system annoyed me so much I couldn't even I didn't even bother playing it more than once. And yeah, I never played the third one. Excuse me. See how far. That's not too bad to deal with. But I'd say first and foremost, if you're not in a city like New York or LA, Miami that has its own inherent value, San Francisco, but even still, if you live in those cities, look and see if you can find local business journals that talk about companies moving there or companies leaving. That'll give you an idea of why prices are going the way they are. corporate tax rate or state income tax, rather. If there's anything like that, like all of these are going to be a factor in at least a company's decision to move to an area or not, or move from an area. And that'll also tell you, like, okay, where are they going? So, like, why are all these companies coming to Texas, going to Austin, or Houston, or Dallas, out of Chicago, out of New York, out of the Bay Area and LA? I mean, there have been some CEOs that have been outspoken about it, like, I don't want to pay my employees $400,000 a year to buy a house. I can't remember who said that, but they were talking about the San Francisco area. Ooh, I have spread force now. That is the one thing, again, with this battle, is you want to keep your people moving forward as much as possible. So, like, you kind of want to bring up the rear, so to speak, first, and use your, especially, use your magic users to kind of weaken things or clear things out. So that the people that are up front, your frontliners, are able to establish the next line of your advance. And kind of have any of the frontliners that are in the middle clean up along the way. So this game does not have permadeath. It does have, as a way to give some amount of challenge, but it's also like an introductory tactics game. If somebody does get their health knocked out, they're gone for that battle immediately. But they resurrect at the end of battle. So you don't have like the Final Fantasy Tactics ability to go back and raise them. But you don't have the strict permadeath of like Fire Emblem. Actually, I'll cast a Mystic Shield. Yeah, so it's definitely forgiving. So it's kind of like Shining Force, except for instead of having to go and like resurrect people at the next time you're in a town or whatever, the game automatically takes a deduction. Yeah, I want to move here because I don't want to get blocked in. So, but at the end of every battle, you see how much money you get for the battle from the enemies you defeated, and he immediately takes a deduction out for any allies that were lost. Okay, yeah, we're in a good spot because they still have to release this card and then I have another 2 turns. I thought I only had 1 turn for a second. So, question for you, Dubs. Did you ever fight the fight against the 4 Crimson Guardsmen, or 4 Crimson Generals rather? Did you just do that fight where you stayed and fought, or did you do that fight where you left the battlefield like the game instructed? Because we did stay and do that fight. I know it was kind of a Pyrrhic victory because everybody except for like 2 people got killed. Oh, he might not even last this fight. Yeah, there's another archer right there. So he's out. So this is exactly what happens, Splice. They leave, and that'll be deducted from the money at the end. One space short. Yeah, I might as well do a phase shift. Yeah, in that case, I just moved aiming a little too far forward, considering there was archers on the next car. No, I just moved him a little too far forward. Because Hawkmen are weak to archers, so I didn't take into account that there were 2 archers on the next car. Okay, well, she's level 21. Oh yeah, I definitely encourage anybody to play that's interested in like tactics games, either because they like Final Fantasy Tactics or they want to get into the genre without having something that's too imposing to play as your first game. Because the story is similar in tone to Tactics. But not quite as convoluted. And the battle system obviously is a lot more straightforward. It does have some complexity, but not nearly, again, on that of Final Fantasy Tactics. Not a lot, but you also don't need a whole ton. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Well, I think there's one more. Damn, that was kind of weak. Weaker than I expected, definitely. There's one more battle after this, and then the chapter is finished. Well, technically 2 if I want to do 2 more. I think everybody's gone. So, yep, turn over. Gonna be close, but he should still survive. Yep, I'll have plenty of. And he does so much damage to the Paragon, it's stupid. And it's not even his best class. The only thing that kind of sucks is since my Hawkman got knocked out, it's gonna be a little more difficult to just slide past and get the item. And I don't remember if they stop releasing cards whenever you get into range. Before I do that, let me save it. Because this is one of those items you can't really afford to miss as far as getting Ash's best class. So I want to make sure that none of these dudes are really in the way of that. So I can't really afford to attack Dallas. I have to make sure I heal up Ash all the way and kind of present him to a degree. I don't know that I'll necessarily attack with Ash though. All he has is healing, so I may lose a healer. No, he should survive one attack. So they gave him a pretty good hit back. Only problem is this guy's gonna get himself killed, and then Dallas is gonna move it to the way. Thankfully, they are kind of proactive about the self-healing. Oh, he didn't move into the way, good. Don't think I can. Nope. Excuse me. So rush Ash up here to get this item in the grate. And was it self-healing? Extra healing. And since this card is still here, we have another turn. they release those cards, so I'm gonna pull back and get my mages behind my front line. And spellbind this guy, so he doesn't attack again. But Dallas should heal him since his HP has been knocked down. Still. Then Ash will get this on the next turn, and I will converge on them and take him out. I can go ahead and go ahead and do this. Just so Dallas doesn't move to block this off, so I can still maneuver around him over here. Yep, that's why I still made sure to move my team up. Oh, he is going for an attack. Did a whole ton of damage too. Fortunately for him, my two mages are right there, and they are going to blast him into next week. I definitely want my archers to get in. Because both of those guys need to get into the 20s. Diego gets a kill. He probably goes into 20. Frog would not, Dolan would not. Darius will. So Darius is actually caught up. Relatively. But this is gonna kill him anyways. Alright, so we got most of our group up to level 20 now. Lost some money, but it's not too big a deal. And finally got the royal ring. And of course, Dino comes to gloat. Oh, Saki, are you still here? Oh, hey, thanks for the follow, Dubs. So before we do anything else, like I said, I don't think we can go back in the condos. I think the city is still occupied. Yep, still occupied. Excuse me. But we need to come back here because we have to trade in these legendary items. And I think we have to at least have them like in our inventory. So let me pull them out of the depot. So legendary items are the ramen we just got, the Macroman doll, and tarot card. First, let's go to the dojo, go ahead and get these promotions out of the way before we come back here with the next key. And get Clint up the duelist. Not a bad look for him. Diego up to sniper. Excuse me. Excuse me. I do like Diego's sniper look. She's already been leveled. He's already been leveled. These two not yet. Not yet because he got knocked out. And not yet. But slowly getting there. I don't need to go to the shop. I need to go to the tavern. Fabled heavy ramen. And now we got the King of Chaos. Go ahead and save there. And I don't know, does he? No, he doesn't even take the items. So let's look at what the next trial battle looks like. And see if I want to do that. And I might finish with the last battle of this chapter. Although we have done 3 battles already. Oh, this one. Yeah, I'm not going to do this one this time. It takes a while. Because it's also a puzzle. So you got to get rid of all these enemies. While knocking this block up after you get somebody up here. Actually, you have to do all 3. You have to knock this one around. After you get up here, you have to knock this one over. And then you have to knock another one over. You might just have to do the 2. But I think you need all 3. Because that's why they have this one up here. So we are not going to do that. This battle should go pretty fast, so we'll go ahead and do this one, then finish it there, unless anybody has anything else they wish to talk about regarding finance or economics. And this is one of the few times you hear this song as well. And of course, they're not going to hold to their bargain. So we have another rush battle. 8 turns to destroy 8 things. And the timing is pretty tight. We also have, is it just chest? No, chest and item. So we also have 1 chest, a hidden item, and another chest. So you have to do this battle by splitting up into 2. Make a lot of use of your ranged units here. And give them some cover whenever you can. Basically, you want 1 archer, 2 frontliners, a healer. Or sorry, 1 archer, 3 frontliners, a healer, and a mage to go each way. Roughly. A little short on one side, but we'll make do anyways. Let me make sure he doesn't. Where can you go? Oh, this is another place where spellbinding as you go by enemies is pretty useful. And let your people shoot behind, or let your trailers take them out as you go. If I remember right, those Death Angels actually do have a death spell. That's gonna be fun to deal with. I don't know what you're talking about, DG. All I'm doing is testing. I am not a streamer. I am just a tester. But how you doing today, DG? How far can you go? Can you? You can't. Hey, DG, thanks for the sub. See? That's what happens. Testing is how you learn. He finally got his level up, so that's good. See if I can spellbind this dude. Can't. Let me No. I believe I'm going to stay in town. Yeah, that's where my family is, but I'm still going to be in town. Oh, nice. Yeah, let me know when you get down here. Mitch was talking about it as well. I will go ahead and do... I want to do that. I'll do an ice storm to soften this one up. Yeah, it sounds like a plan. And we were just talking about house buying a little while ago and kind of some of the things to be mindful of if one was looking to purchase a house in the future. I don't think it's going to be quite as bad. Like, obviously, the prices look pretty terrible right now, but as I've been saying, give it 6 months to a year, and I think prices will look drastically better, or rather, more in line with where they would have been had COVID not happened. I will push forward a bit. Well, how far can they go? The real question. So yeah, the thing with this battle is not the first couple of turns, but it's how you get to the next spots. No, this is far enough. Well, I just recommend this game to Splice of Dark, and I'll do the same to you, DG. Like, especially because I know how I know you don't want too much going on right at once with the game, and Tactics does have like a ton going on. This is a really good kind of segue into Tactics. It's like Tactics Light, essentially. Oh, I did not think he can make it that far after Flyers kill it. Yeah, I highly recommend this game. Very highly. Oof. Big hits. Actually, I can't remember. Are you supposed to split up or are you supposed to stay all together? Guess we'll find out soon enough. Phase shift, that'll get rid of the device and put some good damage on these. Yeah, that'd probably be a good idea. Like, it's not a long game. I'm just taking a little longer because I'm going for the trial battles. Hopefully Darius takes us out of one hit. Not quite. Yes, it is. Like, elevation does increase the length of your range with archers, and it, as you can see, it can drastically affect how far you can move. For anything, I'd rather get rid of that mage. And let me... drop an ultra healing. Get him all the way up. Yeah, it definitely plays a really big factor in your movement. There we go. That's what I needed. So he's going to be vulnerable to these two flyers. The eggworm can't hit him. So I'll have to see how these guys coordinate their attack. This side is doing a whole lot better though. As a matter of fact, I actually might pull somebody from this side to go to the other side. Alright, that helps out a lot. Yeah, to turn on no audio. Or the bad showing anyways. Okay, so how do I want to do this? That's all he can move? Alright. Then we'll look to get rid of this one. And have Eamon go against the other one after Ash comes up and softens it up a bit. Or takes it out completely. That works too. Thankfully, all that's left really are this group and these eggworms. Then park him here so he gives her some cover. Now it's turn 3. Okay, we're in pretty decent shape. And really, as long as we can get through here with my mage intact, we'll have time to grab both of these chests and the item. So the gist of the story is, this country that we're in was in a period of being a republic after a rebellion against a holy dynasty. After that, well, there were pockets of like unrest, so we were handling that as part of the domestic security force, and then we basically got tricked into framing one of the war heroes as a traitor, and we were time skip, and now we're trying to help this rebellion against what was the Republic that's turned into the Empire. So, not unlike Star Wars. We were doing both. At first we were on the side of the Republic because we were a domestic security force. So we were trying to put down the rebellion pretty civilly. And then once one of the major political figures kind of showed his hand and took emergency power, we switched the side. Pretty much, yeah. That's exactly what he did. Alright, everybody is level... I think everybody's over level 20 now, so... I mean, there's a lot of that in the themes, definitely. Sounds about right. Heal these two. Send Eamon for the chest. So he's kind of out of the way of the eggworm, somewhat. Not really, because they can go all the way to the edge. So I'll move Ash here as a target. Can I hit that one? With... No, I can't. Because he can take the hit better than Eamon can. And... let me make sure Diego can actually... wouldn't be surprised, man. So, the way you move your characters in Lunar is basically you're taking defensive positions. So you select defend once, and it automatically puts you in a defensive stance, and then you select where you want to put them. But other than that, you're not necessarily controlling them like during your attacks. Alright, turn 4. And we're getting close enough to be able to at least like knock out the device. The hard part is going to be getting to this. But hopefully he'll be able to fly down there pretty quickly and make a run for it. Might have to be a sack play though. Not necessarily. Are you talking about in this or in Lunar? In Lunar, they don't necessarily attack the closest. They will a vast majority of the time, but they'll sometimes like go through and go for like your healer or your hero. Okay, I don't mind them attacking my healers, that's fine. See if they start moving. Yep. Are they splitting up though? They are not. Oh no, they are splitting up a bit. Okay, so let's see what. Well, let me save just in case. But Ash should be able to take out the acid ghost. It's going to be close. Yeah. So, I'm gonna load that because otherwise he's just gonna get killed on the next turn. Hey, no problem. Thanks for looking, EG. Nice talking to you. And yeah, just let me know whenever you're headed down here. Hope you enjoy the holiday music program. Is it the, is it your daughter that goes, no? Is it that kid? Both of them? I'm going to pull Ash here so he doesn't get sniped and see if they kind of split their attack. So I believe we have 3 turns left to finish this battle. Yeah, 6, 7, and 8. Let me put her here so I can heal them both. So the good news is we already taken out all but 2 of the devices, and we got most of the chest, or all of the chest, so we just have these left. Let's really see how this group plays their attack. Hopefully they split their attack to a degree. And this side is way clearer. They're definitely splitting their attack up. Okay, that works. The poison doesn't. But otherwise, I'm fine with this series of attacks. Thunderball. Should survive that. This poison is annoying as pistol. Oh yeah, we're in a pretty good spot. And that's why the poison is annoying. But at least he got to level 20 first. I'm glad I moved Diego over to this side. So we need to do a group heal. Phase shift and weaken all these dudes. Luckily all the other side has now is an egg worm, so that's not a big deal. So everybody else should be fine. Oh no, she's missing some life. Now they're all together, so that works. Guess I actually need to go over here to get up. Wait. Can I knock it up on this side? I did not even realize that. So they can only come down. My flyer might be able to get up here. If it comes down to it, I can cast a Roman fire and destroy the device, so that's not a huge concern. So 1 turn. Alright, so 2 turns he can get here, and that's fine. Let me save it just in case. And also, another just in case, I'm still going to move Zohar up here and get him in position to be able to do Roman fire on the last device. Then he just has to worry about a spell and getting shot. So, the turn's fine. Not even going for Ash. He is going for aiming with those spells, though. And keeps on getting bodied. Okay, yeah, I can't get up here. I'll do another Roman fire. Holy pressure. That's not gonna kill him, so let me just use an herb. Gotta need to burn these anyways. Now I'm in position to get that on the next turn. Flint. Can get that on the next turn. Excuse me. And we should finish in just a minute. Even though her feet just touched lava, she's still technically okay. So let's finish this battle, shall we? I'm gonna have, yeah, just a little bit, not too much. No lava never hurt anybody, except it does, but you know, sometimes it doesn't. Cast an ultra healing, everybody up. I should actually move it up because I needed it in dome, but it doesn't really matter. Oh, still dead. Last enemy on the stage. And that's the stage clear. I'm playing a little fast and loose with my people, but we still have plenty of money, so it's not really working against us too badly. So now it's time for the end of the chapter. Let me turn up the game. Excuse me. Why is her neck like that? literally speaking out of the side of her neck. Klitsch always being a stand-up dude. This has a really good detail on the faces.
The Torog Mountain Range, located on the far northern border of Ishtaria. From ancient times, it has been called the home of the gods, and as of yet, no man has been able to dwell for long upon its cruel facade. Placing their last hopes for the overthrow of the Empire upon the ancient script engraved upon the royal ring, Ash and his companions travel north by sea to this harsh land. Meanwhile, after finally obtaining the Flame of Judgment, powerful forces were at work within the Empire.
Hey, what's going on, Salila? How you doing today? See my what? Treachery? I don't know what treachery you're talking about. Mm-hmm. I don't find telling people to go check out your stream to be treacherous, but you know, whatever. That's right, you do have a diamond. And the game is progressing good. We are entering the last third of the game. We just started the 5th chapter. And there goes Hellspice talking like someone who is obsessed with power talks. Yet to save the people from pain and suffering, I must have the power. Not generally what you want to have come out of somebody's mouth. And Dolph is ready to show his hand. It is? Still blurry? Looks like it's focused a bit. Probably because I moved off camera for a minute. And Dolph makes his move and slices hell the hell up. I forgot that Josh was right into a battle. Let's see what's in this battle. So we had the discussion about housing already. Oh yeah, this fight. Was there anything you've seen in the financial news lately, Salala, that you want to talk about? I'm pretty sure this is the real chest, because you have to kick the box all the way over. Which is just as annoying as it sounds. Because you also have to deal with these mages and flyers who are going to be taking pot shots the entire time. Well, at least she's appropriate level. That's decent of them at least. No worries there. Sure, I'll find something. I don't think I'm going to stream tomorrow morning, so I might go a little longer tonight. You know, I was going to stop for at 2.5 hours, and then I remembered I probably wasn't going to stream tomorrow morning. Sorry, I wasn't going to test because I'll be kind of busy. Well, at least now we have our full party, so splitting up is a lot easier. Man. Man, Clint might get knocked out already. That's a good block. Definitely needed that. Might not matter though. Probably doesn't matter. Yeah, so you can interact with certain objects on the battlefield. Like that boulder, I could push it in if there was anybody in the way. Yeah, I'll probably play this battle over since that was first turn. If there is any enemies in the way, they would take enough damage for them to lose about half life. Excuse me. And then, like you attack boxes to open them up. You can examine certain spots on the ground to find hidden items, like in the last battle. So there's also switches you might have to interact with by examining to like open drawbridges. So there's a fair amount of like stuff you have to do in battle that are kind of gimmicks. But what we are going to do is actually we can load from the beginning of the map. Same difference. But I'm going to get up for a second. Stretch my legs before we finish this battle. Be back in a minute. assume you can hear me. So what I'm not going to do is overextend on the first turn of the battle. At least on that side. So that should draw some in so I can show what happens when I kick the boulder. And at least get some of them in position to get blasted by magic. The AI is very clever in this game. Take a lot of damage. Oh, I got avalanche now. Oh, it only hits one enemy though. But good for taking out the golems. Hmm. No, it has not gone through yet, Danny. Definitely waiting for that to get past, though. Oh, I can hit him. Nice. Hopefully this is a kill. How you doing today, Danny? Nice. That alleviates a lot of concern. And she doesn't have avalanche yet. What if I can spellbind? That's what time it is over there, 11 a.m. Ah, I needed that spellbind. What'd you have for breakfast today? See, they definitely need the help over on this side more. That's usually what I have. Oh, not bad. It was kind of an okay day here. It's about 70 degrees and slightly muggy. Could have been worse. I'm gonna laugh if anyone somehow again gets targeted and gets knocked out. Because they might split their attack. Alright, they're going for my front line, which I prefer that. Not to be targeted, but Clint's probably gone. Yep. Yeah, sounds like summer's here. That's about right for this time of year for you. And that flyer still has to go too. Yeah, that humidity is a beast. That's the kind of stuff I mean on these. The AI in this game is not one to underestimate. So how do I want to play this? First, let me move you up. Cause a phase shift to clear all this out. It is nice to have like a good sit-down breakfast and just kind of relax. Okay, definitely since you need it over here more. So like, I could have kicked that boulder and then tried to move up and heal. And it would have covered the half damage that they would have taken. It's actually not a bad idea, but I didn't think about it at the time. If I can Roman Power and get rid of him. Why is it always 1 or 2 HP left? Actually, holy pressure should kill 2 out of 3 here. Oh, nice. I don't think I have ever used, maybe? I don't think I have used a ceramic pan before. Alright, so at least this side is cleared out. Took 2 of my frontliners to do it, but sometimes it be like that. It's too bad that spellbind did not take. Let me see if Dolan can move far enough. He cannot. You have a cast iron? Nice. Probably, except he's in the way, because of course he's in the way. Alright, I'll probably spell behind the egg worm then. Gotcha. You didn't like his face? Fair point. Nice. Oh, so his face really is on everything, huh? I do not think both golems can reach. No, they cannot. I know this is a mimic, but I'm gonna open it anyway for the extra experience. And I'll be over here soon enough. So probably another 2-3 turns. This fight is over. since these guys want to be in the way again. For today, Danny. Gonna move out the way, so at least this eggworm has to follow me over. Yeah, your plans for today. Oh, you planning on playing Ni no Kuni? Nice. How far in are you? Okay. How long out are you from doing that? A few hours, I would imagine. Oh, he's already on spellbound. You're gonna go around being an annoyance again. Yeah, I'm not really with the super long stuff so far. I'm 3 hours in and I am definitely ready to not be in this chair. Yeah, that's why I try to keep it to like 2 to 3 hours. Because if I went any longer, I'd be like, you know what? I'm good. Don't feel like doing this. That's why I'm like, I'm doing something either I know I like and I'm familiar with, or it's short. Or at least it's just a change of like how the game functions. Because I am also doing a little bit of Dragon Quest VIII and Radiant Historia. And I like the games, but if I was just doing those, they're both RPGs, obviously. If I was just doing those, I'd be like, hello. But that's why I'm kind of keeping this like this backdrop game that I'm familiar with and know I can play through without too much like getting tired of it. Alright, finally got this. So now it is time for this worm to go. Be careful, Danny, you're gonna mess around and get a whole ton of games to play. And have the infamous backlog that everybody else has. Alright. I did a gang of battles. We're 20 hours in, going into the last third, so about 30 hours with the game. I don't think anything happens in this town. But we'll save that for next time. Yeah, see? Got yourself the backlog already. Mess around. Getting a whole bunch of games. What was it? 20 hours, 15 minutes? Alright, so we got to talk about housing some, which I really have been wanting to do a whole lot more of actually. Because I've been looking forward to that for a while. Yeah, good luck with that, Danny. Next thing you know, you're going to be 35 hours in, wondering what happened. So, thanks for stopping by, y'all, and Smiles and Duffs for following, and DG for the sub. And anybody that just came to drop by and engage in the topic of conversation. I very much appreciated it. Oh, no problem. No problem at all, Splice. So let's see who we're going to raid today. No, he doesn't stream super often. No, he's been picking it up a little bit lately, so... well, we will need you in here one of the next times, so we can talk more about housing from the Australian perspective, Danny. Maybe next Friday, because I'm taking that day off, so I might actually get on a little earlier. So, we're going to raid Art the Ladder for anybody that gets stuck behind. If you're on mobile or something like that, I know, Danny. That's why I want to continue talking about the topic and kind of make people aware of what all is going on and what seems likely to happen. Yeah, use that one. Test raid. Testing out raids. Well, I'll see you all next time I find something to test. See you later.